There's nothing like summertime here in the North Carolina Triad. And when it comes to the season's can't-miss events, at the top of the list is the Coal Pit Live Music Series at Incendiary Brewing in downtown Winston-Salem. And this year, our wonderful partners at the Ginther Group are proud to sponsor it to help provide unforgettable fun all summer long. The 2025 schedule begins on May 31st and runs all the way through Incendiary's 7th anniversary party on September 13th. If you visit theginthergroup.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram, you'll be able to see the details on every upcoming show, along with any special promotions. Again, a huge shout out to the Ginther Group Real Estate for sponsoring this year's Coal Pit Live Series at Incendiary Brewing. And a great way to join us in helping to say thank you? Just keep them in mind for all your real estate needs. It's one simple phone call, 336-283-8689, or just one simple click to theginthergroup.com. The upcoming podcast of Twin City Talk is produced by Tim Beeman of Such and Such Media. Start your own podcasting journey by visiting suchandsuchmedianc.com. These podcasts are produced weekly, and every episode can be found at their website, twincitytalk.com.
Welcome to Twin City Talk. Today we are talking to Brian and Morgan from the Winston-Salem Dash. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
What's ahead this year?
A lot. It's crazy. We're putting a new video board in, which is a major project. Also, the marquee is getting replaced. It's all original right now, which in the world of electronics is never a good thing. So we're swapping that out, and it's going to be 147% larger. It's going to go up to UHD clarity, so middle of the day you should be able to watch it. It also integrates with the new LED wall that we put in middle of 2023. So we should, on a digital side, be up to speed in a modern ballpark. So we're excited for that, for sure.
Oh. Yeah, I love going to the Dash games. They're so fun. Although I can't remember. So when did they originally start here in Winston?
Well, there's been professional baseball since 1905, but the affiliation with the White Sox is about 27 years long at this point. And then the Dash in Truist Stadium first season was in 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
Celebrating the 15th year this season.
Is there anything exciting for that?
Let's say we have a lot of things. So our daily promos that we have, we're introducing. We have our Low Shoes Thirsty Thursdays that we've had consistent since I started with the Dash, but this season we're doing $2 draft beers throughout the stadium every single Thursday home game. So super excited for that. Fireworks every Friday and Saturday, as always. And then, over 40 promotions that we have throughout the season. So there's something for everyone. We have a meet and greet. Bluey is coming to the ballpark this season.
Did you say $2 draft beer?
I did. You heard that correct.
That's the last thing I heard.
Yeah. Go back to that. $2 draft beers.
That's the only thing you need to know, really.
Yeah. We introduced, we partnered with Lost Worlds Brewing, one of our brewery partners there, and designed a can and beer with them. It's a key lime blonde ale, and it's called the 10th Inning beer.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yes, it is delicious.
Very drinkable. It's
Yeah.
a hot summer day.
And $2.
Yeah.
That's right.
It reminds me of the John Mulaney joke where it's like, it is nickel shot night. It's like, I don't think you're making it home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we encourage everyone to drink safely, but
Yes.
in the summertime, there's nothing that hits better. When we designed that one, we knew we had something. It's a low ABV as well. It's only like 4%, so it's truly drinkable. Yeah.
Are you guys doing another 4th of July event? That was really fun last year.
We are. Bolt white and blue. So this year we play on the 3rd. So that's going to be the first time we've had a game on the 3rd in like 5-6 years at least. Yeah. And so that means we're going to have our Bolt white and blue event on the 4th. And we always do live music, vendors, face painting, balloon artists. All the beers available, all the bars will be open, of course, and then we conclude everything with fireworks. And people often ask between the game and which one do you come to between the two? And I say, well, obviously baseball game's on the 3rd, which is great, but we do the same fireworks show on the 4th. So I have 3 little ones. For me, it's a lot easier to come out for that one because it's not 10,000 people like during the baseball game. It's still a nice crowd, 4,000 people, but you can move around a little bit more. There's more things to do because we're not as restricted with baseball going on.
Yeah, my 2 little ones love the water tables you guys had set up.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah. And it's a $10 ticket for anyone that's coming to that event.
So you said 15 years, is that right? I can't believe it's been 15 years.
Right.
And that blows me away because I remember when it was constructed and it feels like it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's got such an appeal. I came a little late to the meeting on this, so maybe you guys covered some of these things, but what was, obviously the original goal was to bring commerce and to bring, baseball to the area and all that, but was there like a long-term goal for the Dash to try and evolve in any particular way, or just curious what the...
Yeah, it's a great question because minor league baseball itself has evolved so much.
Yeah.
Really, as you look at the last time there was a strike in the early 90s, was one of the times that minor league baseball kind of entered its new era. A lot of new construction was happening. Some external financing was coming into MILB at that time, and it kind of changed away from just like you had like your barnstorming era that just played at whatever field you could get into, and then people started having teams in their towns, and those were oftentimes affiliated. So here was like the Cardinals and the Twins, and there was that era. And then once you started getting into the 90s, you started seeing the independently named clubs, right? They got a little bit weird and wacky. And then as we reached the 2000s, it went crazy where, at first it was weird to be the Iron Pigs or the Iron Birds or whatever. And now you have the Trash Pandas, is a full-time brand. And so all that evolution has continued. And with these new ballparks, we just opened Spartanburg. We got back yesterday from that new ballpark. You can really see the difference in whenever you build it, even in 15 years when we built ours to now. It looks totally different. And MLB, particularly since the players unionized, there's such a focus on the facility. And, it's not only just, we're going to play baseball, but it's their development, their fitness. And a lot of times it's kind of where they live because all these guys are away from home. So it's got to be, have the things that we don't really think about, like internet speed's a big deal because it is at your house and this is where these guys are all the time. So that's changed immensely. And I think for the Dash, historically, there's been a great, just length of baseball. Like I said, from 1905, we've been playing in this town. But I think it's like, how do we look at the 120 markets and where does Winston stack up? If we're looking to be, the best mid-sized city in the Southeast or in America or whatever, you got to have all your amenities kind of mirror that. And so as we continue to reinvest in the stadium, it's $2 million for a video board, and we put $10 million in last year into new facilities. That's kind of what we're doing. Is we're not just trying to compete with things that are here locally, but nationally, is saying, what does Winston have to offer that folks want to come and visit or move or whatever? We look at ourselves as one of those pieces.
Now, am I correct in that when you guys opened, you were voted the best ballpark in the country?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And truly, it's most people in my world, a lot of people come in and they see all these different ballparks. And the first thing I noticed when I got here is I was like, there's no way this was built to be an A-ball club. Like the size of the structure and just the amenities it has with the club level being so large and the press box being on the concourse level, it's built in a way that this is easily a AA, if not in some markets a AAA ballpark that we have right here in Winston-Salem. So, that was one of the major reasons. And it's hard to compete when there's new ballparks always opening to win, every year. I think there's a couple good contenders this year, but it's really an amazing facility we have, especially for the market size.
Can you share a little more about the suites in the club and stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure people really, and we got to do a better job of counting this, how many events go on, whether it's just in the Flow Club or in the stadium in general, but nothing, I think, showcased that quite as much as this past or 2 weekends ago we had, which was the beginning of April at this point. The Rome Braves, they were doing some construction and they had an issue on their field. Number one, they had a couple of sinkholes they had to replace, and then a pipe burst in their clubhouse. So we got a call, and in hindsight, it was on April 1st, so they thought I was doing an April Fool's prank. But we got a call, and they're like, hey, can you host Rome series in 36 hours? And my actual answer was like, I'm going to say yes, and then we'll figure it out later, which is pretty much what happened. Yeah. But, that pulling that off, I think people didn't understand, like, well, it's not just like, can you host it? We had a prom on Friday night. We had Reagan's prom on Saturday. and then we had an anniversary party and a 5-year-old birthday party on Sunday. They were already scheduled. So we have far more non-baseball events than we have baseball games. So on Friday night, we did the first ever actual live prom that occurred during a minor league baseball game. We had them both at the same time. And so since we were playing in Rome, we rebranded it to Prom Wasn't Built in a Day. And whenever you can't use your facility, all roads lead to Winston-Salem, apparently. So
That's awesome.
we themed the whole thing around the prom, where we changed what the game was going to be, and we made it about the prom instead. So we actually crowned the king and queen on the field during the
That's
game.
so cool.
Our T-shirt toss, we had all of our fans throw the T-shirts up to the prom as opposed to the other way around. So our fans got behind it. Our players went up after the game. We presented the school with a signed jersey, and every kid left with a ball that said "Prom Wasn't Built in a Day," signed with a date. They all got to take pictures with the players. So if you think about your high school prom, if like pro
It's
baseball
not that
players showed up
exciting.
to take photos with you, I mean, it was pretty cool. Like for everything, And then on Saturday we had to flip because Reagan, is a 1,000-person prom, so we were setting up during the game. We had to move the game to 1:00, and then their prom was at I think 7:00. So the game was going on, and we were just flipping the concourse as we went, putting all the decor up and everything. And the facility is truly used basically every day of the year, and a lot of times there's multiple events on the same day.
I'd say a third of the events that I've ever been invited to are at the Dash game.
Yeah, it's a great event space, and it's not a ball field.
Right.
It happens to have a ball field, but it is an event space. And it's a great place to be. I've done several food and beverage competitions and things, Big Sip when it was there, and other things like that. And I love being there. And they have, you can do the 5Ks and stuff. However many, it's like 20 times around or something.
That's right.
So I just think that's awesome. And I have to say that of my 5 proms, none of them were that cool.
Not even close.
No, not even close.
Yeah,
I
no.
remember walking through a screen of, tinsel. That's about as exciting.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get envious of all those apartments that are right across the street. I'm sure everybody
yeah.
thinks that when they drive past the fireworks, getting to watch the games, and just the constant parade of who knows what going on at the Dash. That's some pretty luxury box seats they've got across the street at those apartments. Yeah. I can imagine people camped out there all the time.
Yeah, it really it's fun. I mean, the fireworks, you get a free fireworks show just by living there, of course, was one thing. But I always feel bad for the dogs because they don't always know it's Friday night. And all of a sudden it's, right in their front yard. It's like, but no, it's been good. And we get a lot of good traffic that walks down from there and everything, which helps. And, there's like a new complex opening every couple months at this point. Right. So, yeah, that's been good too.
I'm never here on Friday nights, but I would love to sit and watch because I can see I see Be Safe, but I also see the lights from the stadium here, and I would love to sit here and watch the fireworks just to see how it looked from this angle.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, we it was 2 years ago, I think. We had a bit of an issue because there's a lot of folks that just kind of like pulled over on the side of 421 to watch which is not a safe or good idea.
Nor legal.
Yeah. But that particular game, we were sold out, and so you can't get in. What do you do? So that that's what happened. But we're working on a couple things. We think with the third is going to help us a lot, and then we already have our schedule for next year as well. We're back on. We're going to have the third and the fourth next year, so we're starting to brainstorm a little bit, what we're going to do for that specific set of games. And I think the fourth next year is on a weekend. It's like a Friday.
I'll say Friday or Saturday.
so.
Yeah. So that will be a challenge for us because that'll be pretty large. We're talking about, maybe roping off the outside berm and having more people be able to bring lawn chairs and things like that. So we got a year to figure it out. We'll see.
Good time. So you guys do a lot of cool food. Like every year it's different stuff. So what are some of your favorites this year?
Oh, goodness. I was going to say, I know you have come to our Dash Delights event that we have hosted. We hosted this past year. I think the most exciting and positive feedback we received was our deep fried Uncrustable. I have not personally tried it, but I have heard across the board that everyone loves that. And
You had me at deep fried.
Right. When we were brainstorming, we all get together and we brainstorm kind of what's a fun, exciting food that's going to catch your attention, like a deep fried Uncrustable, but then also what's something that we can kind of implement that everyone's going to love. as soon as we talked about the deep fried Uncrustable, though, we were like, that's going to be the most exciting thing that's on our menu that people are asking about. And so far, I think that's been what it is. And then I guess the permane sandwich, too. You can talk about that.
Yeah, I have my theme now. So
Yeah.
this is the third year. So Dash Delights is where we release all the new food items for the year, and especially the specialty ones. So yeah, we have the deep fried Uncrustables, number one feedback, and
Yeah.
then all of our deep fried desserts like Oreos and things like that, where our cannoli nachos
Cannoli, yeah.
were huge. So our desserts always do pretty well. But I always have one each year. So the first year I came down, I moved down here from Lehigh Valley, right outside of Philly, and so I brought a Philly cheesesteak because as I went around town, nobody was doing it right in terms of like how you do it in Philly. So I was like, then we'll do it. So we did, and it went so well. It was one of our top sellers total in the ballpark. So we've brought it back each of the next 2 years now. The following year, we did a theme night collection, which is where we do those one-game rebrands. We rebranded to the Italian beef because we're a White Sox affiliate. Everybody knows deep dish, and it's kind of already been done, so we wanted to focus on something different. So the Italian beef was the one that we did that year off the heels of me failing miserably on a 999 challenge. I did 9 Italian beefs, 9 wines, and 9 innings. I think I made it to 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
On National Italian Beef Day
Yeah.
last season.
Oh, man.
I had to call in a medical professional to get me out of there, and I ended up tapping out on that one. But which resulted in me, my punishment was I had to be the bat boy for that game. So there's some footage that exists, a few different places of me doing that. But
Yeah.
this year, as to continue that theme, I'm from Pittsburgh originally, and so I wanted to have a permane sandwich out here. And so for those that aren't familiar, it's not a burger meat. It is beef, but it's a blend with like some sirloin and things in there. And then it has fries on top, slaw, lettuce, tomato, and it's stacked up on a tall Italian bread. Yeah, it kind of hurts your jaw, honestly.
It's a
trying to
Pitts
get in
burger.
there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Hurts
it's
my arteries.
yeah, but it's amazing. I mean, it's one of my every time I go back home, I have to have one, and people know it. So hopefully it does well. We'll see how it
Sounds
competes.
incredible.
Just so we know, because I'm a food guy. I'm the man who ate the town.
Yeah.
Because I've heard conflicting reports. What is the actual way for a Philly cheesesteak?
Oh, this is a great question.
So that is one of the
This
issues.
is about to be
'cause-
definitive, buddy.
Yeah, right.
I know you know.
So we'll start with like who makes it, and that kind of tells you the style, right? So when everybody goes to Philly, the 2 places they talk about is Pat's and Geno's, right?
yeah.
They're right across the street, and there's a Family Feud. They make them a little bit different. So Geno's is more of like the long cut that's in there, whereas Pat's is more of the chop style. And then when you order, it's also ordering. You have to do it correctly. You can't just walk up and make your decision right there. First of all, you better already know what it is. You better have cash, and then you're gonna go whiz, with, or without. So
Yeah.
that's all you say. Like they know you're getting a cheesesteak, you just order whiz, with, or without. So whiz is the cheese, and it's kind of mixed in there. It should be mixed in, not added to after. And then with or without, you're talking about onions. And so whether it's going to be your diced onions that'll be on there or not. D'Alessandro's is actually the best cheesesteak place, for those that are wondering. It's not Pat's or Geno's. And there's some 2 or 3 contenders that I'll allow in there. Jim's is allowed in the conversation. There's a few, but D'Alessandro's for me is the best. So got to order it right, know how to order it, and it's only going to come one way. As soon as you start asking for provolone or doing something crazy, you might have a problem. And just
You do realize you just got banned from Pat's and Geno's. You're-
I didn't think of that, but yeah, you're right. I guess I can't.
When
go.
he moved down here, though, I was like, peppers, onions, cheese, and he was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And that's what they do. They bring so our food and beverage team. I just kind of tell them like, here's what we're looking to feature this year, and then we do like a sampling for the staff.
Yeah.
So we start off with like 30 to 50 items, and we just get it down to like 10 to 15. And I just said cheesesteak, and like it just didn't occur to me that there was other ways to make it. Yeah, I was like, so they showed up with some sandwich, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but
this is
where's the cheesesteak?
I hope you just threw it across the room.
I may have.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. No, we got to sort it out. So yeah, you'll check that out. And all of these, because they've gotten so popular, we actually had to expand our kitchen on the first base side. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, we created an entirely new service area that's just for it's the Dash Light stand. Yeah. So all the specialty items are all in the same place, right on the first base side. So now it's a lot easier if you want to. You don't have to eat your way all the way through the town. You can just go to one place and you'll eat the whole stadium in one place. It'll save you some steps. Yeah.
Nicely done. Well played. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Life is full of celebrations, birthdays, holidays, life milestones, and so much more. And who has been helping generations of families celebrate these events? Our friends at Dewey's Bakery. And even if you aren't planning for something in the near future, you don't have to wait to enjoy something savory and delicious from Dewey's. Maybe you just need something to get you through your Mondays. Drop by every Monday for a free Cake Square Day. No purchase necessary. Just come celebrate the start of a new week. So, if you're hearing this ad on a Monday and you're in your car, reset that GPS and get to one of their 3 Triad locations immediately in Winston-Salem at Thruway and Renolda Manor, plus one in Greensboro at Friendly Shopping Center. And any day of the week, you can find the perfect item with fast and easy ordering options at local.deweys.com. Plus, Dewey's does so much to help celebrate our community. To date, they've given back over $4 million to local schools, churches, and other nonprofits. Your next celebration isn't complete without something special from Dewey's Bakery. Dewey's. Celebrate every day.
It's time to get serious about your financial future. It's never too early, but it could be too late to get started. And that's oftentimes the hardest part, getting started. How much do I save? Where do I invest? Do I save for college or retirement? How much for each? And who do I talk to about it all? Okay, we'll keep things simple for now and help you answer the last one. We recommend you begin with a local financial advisor. And that's Jennifer Johnson of 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. She'll sit down with you for a complimentary introductory consultation and go over all of your questions. Get started on the path to achieving your financial goals. Visit 3magnoliasfinancialadvisors.com or call 336-701-1600. Get comfortable with your financial future. 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. Retirement, financial planning, and investments. Securities offered through Private Client Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors and Private Client Services are not affiliated. Private Client Services is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
All right, where are you from, Morgan?
I am from here.
From
so
here?
this will be my 4th season with the Dash, which is crazy to say. But yeah, grew up in Oak Ridge, so right outside of Greensboro. So I'm from here.
So what do you guys love about Winston?
Oh, honestly, growing up in Greensboro was great, and it's definitely changed a bit. Coming to Winston, though, it is significantly better, in my opinion.
That's what matters.
Yeah, right. Family friendly here. I love a good coffee. You'll always see me with the coffee in hand. There's a ton of coffee shops around.
Right here.
Yeah,
One of the best.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree
Love
with
it.
that.
Love it. Bailey Park Innovation Quarter. I think just the home feel. I have a little daughter now. She's 1 year old. So being able to be here and raise a family, and there's just a lot of things to do. Obviously, going to Dash games. She's going to grow up at the stadium. So there's a lot to look forward to.
What about you?
I was surprised. I didn't know anything about Winston-Salem. I mean, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I went to college in Michigan and lived in Baltimore for a bit, Philly, and a lot of different places. So when I got the call about Winston-Salem, I was just like, I've never been. I know nothing about it, right? So when I came down here, I was kind of shocked. And for anyone that has been to Pittsburgh, I actually kind of relate them in a lot of ways, where it's like, it's a small enough city that you don't get all the stuff you don't like about cities, but it's big enough that it does have the things you're interested in. So there's entertainment, and it's walkable, it's clean, it's safe, all these things that you look for, particularly when I was moving down with a family of 5 and 3 younger kids. So of course the weather's better and all that kind of stuff, and just so many things to do that's so accessible. I mean, just even Charlotte and Raleigh being that close, if you're really looking for Big 4 sports entertainment or something that we don't have, it's very easy to get to. Lake Norman is very easy to get to. We go there all the time. So I mean, it's been great for us, and I can't imagine now our kids growing up in a different way, because there's some areas in Philly not so great, and so we had some issues there, but here it's been amazing. It was so easy for them to adjust coming down here too, which is always your concern, especially with kids and moving. But everyone's been great, welcoming, and it helps to have the Dash and the stadium. That's kind of like their mini family too, that they know all those people too. And it's just been a great experience for us.
How old are your kids?
I got 9, 7, and about to be 5/13 on the youngest.
His oldest daughter, when they first moved here, this is one of my favorite stories. She obviously met me, and my accent is a little bit different than what she's used to. And she came into the ballpark, and I said, "Hey, y'all, how's it going? How are you guys?" And she immediately looked at Brian, and she said, "Dad, what's a y'all?" And I was like, "It means you guys. That's what we say." And now it's in her vocabulary now. So
Or yins in that.
right,
speech.
exactly.
That's the hardest one for me is we have
Yeah.
our own y'all already. It was yins.
Yins,
And then
yeah.
Philly was yous. They do a
Yous,
lot of like, you guys see that John over there, they had their own language too. And so coming down here, it's like, what is going on?
I do a podcast for Queensryche, the band, and I'm just a producer. But one of them's in Pittsburgh, and one of them's in Philly, so we get a lot of yins and yous the whole show.
Yeah, Pittsburghese is interesting when some people hear me bring it out every once in a while, and I never really had like an accent. A couple of my friends, I mean, you would struggle understanding them sometimes. It can be brutal because all the downtown, going downtown, see a concert downtown. You know, it's like okay, but yeah, it's a great town.
So
well.
Pittsburgh has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it has.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause my dad grew up there. He went to Pitt, and that was back in the old, like, when steel kind of left formally, and there, it didn't have any innovation yet or whatever. And they kind of flipped over around the tech and the healthcare, very similar to here as well. And now it's just such, there's a lot going on downtown, but it's still walkable, still clean. And, it was one of the first, Google has a place there because of Carnegie Mellon. One of the first places they had the self-driving taxis. They experimented there. It's the first place I ever saw them, actually. So yeah, it's done really well, and it's a great town to visit. Maybe not the winter, but outside of that, it's a fun time.
I think in the comparison of the two cities, I've only been to Pittsburgh once, and that was for a Steelers game because that's my team. I was there opening day 1983, and if we know what happened that day, that was John Elway's first game. But I was there, but I see pictures because I also have a cousin who is in Pittsburgh that I do another podcast with. But they talk about that. But I think what this town's missing in that is a big water feature. Pittsburgh has the three rivers and others, more bridges than any other town in the North America. But also, we don't have the Steelers here.
Yeah. Right.
That's the Panthers are building, I guess. I'm a Steelers fan, so I admittedly hadn't paid much attention since Cam Newton left to the Panthers. But it's been a while.
Well, unless you count the return, but hopefully nobody
no
does.
No one counts that.
No. But yeah, hopefully they're on the ups. I mean, it's so much more fun to have it. Like I grew up in 6 Super Bowls, and we won 5 Stanley Cups in my lifetime already. And the Pirates are the Pirates.
We're the greatest farm club in the pros in the MLB.
Yeah.
Give stuff away for nothing.
Yeah. So, but it's when your football team is good and it just changes the town and the whole vibe, the whole dynamic. When football season is happening, it. And so hopefully the Panthers can get there, and we'll see. And they're doing a renovation to Bank of America Field, I believe, pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I think so.
Lots of
pretty big
lots
capital
of
project.
stuff. Yeah.
So
When the teams are winning, it's a religious experience in town.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really is. All you feel the vibe of the whole city change when when they're on a streak. Or any big city I've ever been in, when it's getting playoff time and the team's doing well, that's a great experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, have there been or is there plans for pierogies at the Dash Stadium?
Pierogies have been talked about a
Say
few
I thought,
times,
yeah.
I think. Possibly. I think now, so when we redid our kitchen, we put a lot, we spent probably about $300,000 just this off-season in kitchen equipment. So we didn't really have the capacity to do everything we wanted to, and that's when we start with our list. It's not just like, do we think it'll sell or be fan-friendly? It's like, can we do it? It's one of the major problems we had. And so we kind of had to shut down a lot of these ideas. Like deep fried Uncrustables, I think, was an idea we had for several months, but we just didn't have the capacity until this year. So I think all those types of items are going to be probably in the near future. Yeah.
What's the future plan for the Dash? Anything in particular on the horizon, or is it just keep killing it the way you have been?
I was gonna say.
So there's two different ways to answer that. Like, how do we see ourselves? Like the 25-year plan is probably one thing, and that's more, facility and like how are you building, whether it's adjacent to the stadium or the structures that are inside. So like the scoreboard is one of those things. A field replacement is on the horizon here, potentially as early as next year. And we just want to keep investing into fan-facing pieces because, it's tough whenever you have all these, like we did $10 million of upgrades last year. Basically, none of those are fan-facing, and people don't really know. So I try to get people in there to see as much as we can with locker rooms, training facilities, and we built our new performance center, which is the one off the highway that you've seen. It was under construction for so long, but that one we actually converted as well into an event space, and all the cages are retractable, so you can come in. And we've had a fashion show in there, birthday parties, you name it so far. But it's a really cool space, and a lot of businesses like to keep one of the cages down and one of them up. We have a sound system in there with AV and everything, so you can have like your meetings and then take a break and go hit in the cages and then come and do more meetings. And
that's amazing.
Keeps attention, and you can go a little bit longer. So those things are that, and then I think the more immediate is like what's the fan looking for this year? And you can come out and see a baseball game every time you come, but what else? So when we do a Princess Night, the idea is when you walk in that immediately that this is Princess Night and there's also a baseball game going on. So I'm going to hop in a carriage ride with Cinderella and go around the concourse. I'm going to go, and we had a snow machine for Elsa's area and take photos with her. And then Moana had her beach set up and whatever. And so like everywhere you go, it's kind of its own little, it's a small Disney, right? Where it's like you're having your little experience that's a part of this bigger experience. So those are a key for us. And then we've gone really big with some of the ones recently, like our High Pens. Our High Pens cap was in the top 50 selling caps in minor league baseball last year. And that was a one-game rebrand we did. And there's 120 teams. So that means our cap was outselling most of minor league baseball's regular teams. And then we just did it for one night. And so it was on the heels of doing the kitchen or the chicken coop and High Pen. Well, High Fin was where it started.
Yeah.
We put the chicken coop in center field, and we have our chickens out there now that you can go and watch them eat and feed. But there are High Pens, and so our jersey has like the feathers down it. With the cap, was the chicken's kind of crazy. He's like a EDM inspired chicken, I guess. But you want to talk about changing the vibe? Like last year, that game, whenever we went in, everybody left that game and they were like, that whole thing felt different. Yeah. And it was so big. We're nominated for Golden Bobblehead, Jersey of the Year by MLB. We're on MLB Network for that. So all the awards and stuff came, but really for us, it was like, we need to bring this back because it was so popular and so many people, loved it. So we're doing an entire weekend this year around High Pen. And so we're starting to do that more so where it's like, if we know it works and people are enjoying it, let's give it more and more, right? And then we keep innovating, keep coming up with new ones. We just released Hooch Booches. You can talk about that one.
Yeah. I honestly think that we try to offer something for everyone. So like I had mentioned Bluey, but then we're also doing a Grateful Dead night as well. So we want to know, like on our socials and stuff, when we ask like what do you want to see, we truly want to know because we need your feedback and we can come up with a promotion all day long. We sit together and we do that. But hearing from the community and seeing what they want and what they like. Obviously, he's talking about the energy with High Pens. We knew that went well. I vividly remember texting the team and being like, that was the best night we've had since I started with the Dash through and through. It was amazing, the energy. But yeah, just coming up with something for everyone is kind of our goal.
We partner with, I don't know if people realize, but like we have official partnerships with so many of these different franchises. Like we had one with Marvel for 3 years, and the Marvel illustrators redesigned Bolt, and it's like a superhero. And so that's all the kids' Bolt wear you see. Like Marvel drew that, and we just had a homestand, our opening homestand, where we partnered with Minecraft, and we promoted the upcoming or I guess it's out now, the Minecraft movie. By the time this airs, it's definitely out. You can see it everywhere probably. But so they gave us their full kit to be able to use in the stadium, and so we do that. We reach out directly, and people love to work with us and promote what they have upcoming, and it's great for the fans, of course, too. And so we've done a lot with Disney and a lot with these other franchises, but we're open to whoever and whatever. It's just a matter of, and sometimes we turn them around really quick, but sometimes this is like an 18-month process that we start now and we don't see the end result for literally that long, especially when it's a cap on field. It does take that long. Some people were asking me about when we had the fire a couple weeks ago in the stadium. We released our new Copa rebrand, which is Spanish. It's El Humo, which is Spanish for the smoke. And they're like, you had a fire in your ballpark and release the smoke rebrand the same day? Like, that's a little, that's promotions, right? And I was like, well, for people that know about baseball, that was 18 months ago. Like, that cap was designed and submitted that long ago. It was just a matter of like when we released it. So we were kind of sitting on it, waiting, and then we had this, I don't want to call it an opportunity because it could have been a horrible thing, but fortunately the fire was small and contained and all that, and it was fine. But we just kind of rode that promo out, and that's how we released it. So it's always something.
It's impressive.
It is.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, it's not like I ever thought this was not a large production, but I mean, the amount of moving parts that you're describing and all this, that's pretty amazing. Something that Winston needs to be very proud of, for sure.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It is. It's a lot, and it's like we put thought and effort in all these things, and like we don't get them all right, and that's kind of the point. Like, we have a rule: we can't do anything once. You got to do it twice, because there could just be like, maybe it rained, maybe, whatever circumstance. Like, let's keep going, keep trying it, and just learn from the audience. Like, react to them. If they love it, they enjoy it, whatever, then great. If not, move on. Yeah. I'm curious to see how our mascot race, which is new this year, goes.
Yes. The Pepper Dash.
Pepper Dash. There is some theming there that will make sense over time, but we don't just randomly have peppers run around. But it is fun, and we have 4 different ones. They all have different personalities, and they have records ongoing. And so we're just kind of like, I just met with our entertainment director before I walked in the building here, and we just talked about some of the upcoming skits and how it's going to kind of work and look, and just feeding more into each individual personality, because already my kids have their favorites and like get very upset when there's lose. And my son picked Petey, who has yet to win. And so he's just like, what is going on with this pepper? And I'm like, sorry, man. It's
Petey Poblano, Nana Pepper, jalapeno, and then chili pepper glasses.
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. Yeah.
He comes out to Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But we have merchandise coming, so you can pick your pepper, if you will, and then get behind your pepper.
I can see one of them that I'm a pepper. He's a pepper.
Right.
She's a pepper.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
There's a lot to play. I mean, it's
Wouldn't you like
fun
to be a pepper too?
Yeah, we just have Bolt right now as the only mascot. So, having 4 more to interact with kids and everything, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So how can people find out more about the Dash?
Online, our socials are huge. You can follow us, WS-Baseball, and then also our website, ws-dash.com. All of our promotions are listed there that we have upcoming. I mentioned it, 40 plus promotions, fireworks every Friday and Saturday. We are home. $2 draft beers on Thursdays. But yeah, just following along on social. We try to keep everything as updated as we can.
And to be clear, that is WSDASH,
That's right.
Baseball, not Dash.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
We probably should buy that domain if we don't have it.
I know.
That might be happening. Yeah. But Thursdays, I don't know what you could do better, because you can bring your dog as well, and then you can run the bases with your dog after.
Oh, cool.
So you can show up with your dog, hang out on the lawn, drink $2 beers, and then run around on the field with your dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we could do.
Yeah.
Sounds like heaven.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
Kids zone's free every single day. And kids run the bases every single day. We changed that last year and brought it back again this year. So
I hate trying to, nickel and diming. I have 3 kids, so maybe it's because of me. It's like you go somewhere and then how much is this going to cost? And all 3 of them want or whatever. It's like, no, just come to the game, get in, and then everything you do, whether it's the Princess Night or we have the Dino Night where there's animatronics, dinosaurs all over the concourse and displays they do. They hatch a dinosaur live during the game. Like everything, once you're in, it's like it's just turnkey. So that was the goal, and that's what we've been working towards. And we even shifted our game times to be a little more family friendly as well. So with the pitch clock, the games are shorter, and then we moved them up to 6:30. In the past, when it was a 7 o'clock start, and some of the games were like 3.5 hours, there's just no way. You're either leaving early, you feel like you didn't get what you paid for, or whatever. So like we try to adjust all of those things, and it's been working pretty well so far. I think families appreciate it, for sure. I know our staff does.
Well, thank you guys for joining and bringing this great space to our city.
Yeah, really a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
thank you guys so much.
This is Twin City Talk. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you. The views and opinions portrayed by guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the distributors and hosting companies. And if you love this podcast, that's great, but don't think about stealing it. Reach out to us and talk about the content, because it is copyrighted.